from We Were Gamers, a podcast about geese honking at 10:40 at night outside my window.
They're about to be food for those coyotes we heard outside your window not too long ago.
That is true.
So
they will not make it very far if they land on the ground outside.
They had a good plan.
They were, it was like listening to yourself being triangulated by a guided missile. Like you heard the beep on your left and the beep on your right. And it's like the raptors in Jurassic Park. Like,
they're hurting you.
I see you over there. There's one to my right. That's when I came back in the house.
Yeah, you could hear the predators stalking you.
Probably not me, but it definitely felt like it.
Yeah.
It was loud out there. I'm going to chug this entire water on air.
Okay.
Because I feel like we were well hydrated today.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Intro us here, man.
Yeah. We were gamers. We were gamers. Podcast where Andrew and I, sometimes by ourselves, often very frequently joined by Michael, talk about how we used to play games more than we did. But this is a slightly special episode in that we were at Blizzcon.
We were.
Just very recently.
Today.
Yes. And today was the opening ceremonies, the first day. And we played some games.
Did we?
We played a few.
It's all a blur. I feel often that when we talk about news and games and all that sort of stuff, that we do highlight how we were gamers, but we still play. Yeah. We do stuff. Mm-hmm. But each BlizzCon, as it creeps up on us...
You feel like you do less games and more stuff?
There's less games, more stuff, but also there's certain, disconnects. And we'll talk about it when we get to some of the news from today. But there's some disconnects happening with some of the franchises. Yeah. But also they're bringing stuff back because they know some of us are getting older and we want certain things, Yeah, yeah. So this is going to be a fun, exciting episode.
It should be interesting. There's a lot to talk about for sure.
Like I said, we were well hydrated.
Yeah, we
drank a lot of beer.
We had some beers. Shout out to Bottle Logic, who did some beers for StarCraft's 20th anniversary, which was this year.
There were 4 of them. Plus, then we went and had some more beers at Karl Strauss.
Yeah,
now I need about 64 ounces of water.
Yes.
Because they changed the security this year. Let's start at the beginning of the day.
The beginning of the day. So we arrived. We knew the opening ceremonies, according to the schedule, would have started at 11. So we guesstimated the doors would open at 10 or 9:30-ish.
9:30 was on the schedule. So we wanted to be there at 9:30.
Okay. I didn't know if we actually knew that or we just guessed.
We saw the schedule said 9:30 and we guessed that meant the doors are open. And so we had the bright plan to say, well, we saw those metal detectors, so maybe it'll be a little crowded when they open the doors. So we'll park at 9:30 and we'll miss the mad rush through the metal detectors and we'll walk in.
Well, it actually worked out exactly like that for me. I parked, I walked down the stairs. There were 4 people in line in front of me at the metal detector. I went through, I walked in, everything was great. What do you mean? It was a problem or... Folks, you can't see the face he's giving me. He is very angry at me right now. It's very good.
I need a death stare sound effect. JJ drove down the opposite side of the street heading the other direction, and we pointed at your car.
Oh, I didn't even know.
And we're like, oh, there he goes. He's getting into the lot we want to get into. Mm-hmm. And we promptly tried to make the turn into that lot as well, and it was already coned off.
Wow, I must have missed it by 5 people or something.
Yeah, it was very soon afterwards that we tried to get there. But we had to go up a whole block and then make a U-turn. Then we went around to the old lot. This is the new lot JJ parked in. Yeah. Now then there's the old lot, and the old lot was full.
Oh, that lot was full. I thought you said it was closed because it just wasn't open.
It was closed because it was full.
Because it was full. Oh, yeah. Wow.
So then they were trying to tell us to go to a lot that was quite a bit of walking the opposite direction. So instead we decided, we'll try and loop back around and see what's available, maybe a little closer. Which we got stuck in traffic because there was one lane taken up with tree trimming.
Oh, good time for that.
In front of a convention center full of people.
Good time for that.
Yeah, maybe they should do that. Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Not Friday or Saturday.
Probably not.
Someone should check the schedule.
Yeah.
We get lucky. They opened up the employee lot to park the last 10 spaces with other people's cars. So we yanked in there right away and parked. And then they closed it again.
Jeez. Wow.
But that was behind the convention center. So we walked back behind the convention center, which is pretty far distance from the front.
Yeah, you got to go like way. So like, did they let you through underneath, or did you have to go around the outside?
All the way back at the parking was the beginning of the line to get to the metal detectors at the front of the convention center.
Oh my god! So like, where we stood in line the other day for those to get our badges.
Yes.
Okay, that's a long line.
Yes. Both sides of the street.
Oh god.
It took us from pulling up in our car in front of the convention center to try and start to park to into the building about an hour and 10 minutes.
Good Lord. I didn't I was there, but I didn't I knew you guys were stuck in a line. I just didn't know the magnitude of how bad it was.
So we sat down finally, I think, in front of the screen with everybody, 10:40.
Yeah. When we thought the opening ceremonies were about to start, it turned out they were still about
half an hour away.
20 minutes, half an hour away.
So they changed the stages. Well, did we finish talking about security?
No. I mean, so they had
bad.
They had metal detectors, and
slow.
Honestly, yeah, it wasn't that bad once you got through it.
Well, it's just slow.
Yeah, it was just slow.
But they removed people's water bottles from most bags.
Yeah. So they let me in Thursday when we went in to go pick up our badges. They let me in with a sealed, closed water bottle.
I see.
That was full. But apparently today they were not letting you in with anything.
Empty, clear.
Clear, empty bottles only.
Yeah.
Which, wow.
Not
tough.
This nice stainless steel one I'm guzzling water from.
Yes. So that's different for sure. So I definitely took bottles of water in with me last year.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay $1 million for a bottle of water.
It's just interesting. A lot of conventions have changed their security. Rightly, they need to. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I understand the metal detectors and stuff. People are showing up in giant costumes with swords. Yeah. I would prefer they be fake swords.
Yeah. The nature of hosting these types of things has changed.
Yeah.
And I heard a rumor that they added 10,000 people this year, which seems like way too many to have added in 1 year, so I don't know that I believe that number.
Yeah.
But it certainly felt more packed than ever.
Yeah, it definitely felt like there were a lot of people. The thing that I am really interested in, so the way they did the stages, right? They divided stuff up. Clearly so they named the stages after kind of their raid or loot tiers or whatever. There's the mythic stage, there's the epic stage, there's the legendary stage, and then there's the StarCraft stage, there's a WoW arena stage, there's the Overwatch arena.
Okay.
And I think that's how they...
The Hearthstone stage.
There's the Hearthstone stage also. Yeah, I forgot. You're right. It's in that other building, along with the epic and legendary ones. And so then I'm like, okay, so clearly Mythic is the top tier because that's how their stuff works.
Okay.
And so that means the Mythic stage is the main stage.
Yes.
That's where Mike Morheim and J. Allen Brack and those other guys came out, they were standing on that stage. So then all the rest of the stages, which were also simulcasting it, the opening ceremonies I'm talking about, everyone else is kind of the B team. And so, you just kind of felt I just could have stayed home and watched this on the video, man. It's they probably got as good of an experience as we did.
Well, you're alluding to the fact that we got there you were in the building at 10.
Yeah,
10.
I was,
and
before 10 probably.
You're alluding to the fact that the Mythic stage was closed.
Yeah.
Unlike past years where everyone in the building was able to get to the Mythic stage, basically.
Right, because they filled that entire stage,
the whole hall,
with chairs and screens and stuff.
The whole hall.
To make it one big thing to fit the entire convention over there.
Yep.
So they changed the layout this year. They made that side of that stage smaller, a lot smaller.
Well, they needed some more space.
So they took
I'm not
space
sure
away?
they actually needed the space, but they did, because they needed space for the Diablo area.
But they took space away.
Yeah. They added that new food court thing on the side.
Yeah.
They rearranged so the bathrooms are not in the middle of the hall anymore.
But I mean, those buildings were still there. They closed off a section of the hall that was open previous years.
I see. Okay.
So those bathrooms, which were in the middle of the hall before, that curtain that goes across there is not a wall behind there. There's empty space behind there.
Oh.
That's back to the back where the food and stuff was.
It
in
must be a
previous
staging
years.
area because they don't have another one anymore.
I would guess so, yeah.
I see.
So I don't know what benefit they gained by doing that. I mean, other than they were ordering the convention differently this year. But anyway, it was what it was. But like, I got there the earliest of our group, and the main stage, quote unquote, was already closed. We couldn't get in. So we ended up watching it on a video screen
with a lot of other people.
Oh, there were a lot of people. Yeah, of course. It looked like all of those stages were pretty full. The entire Overwatch arena completely full. The chairs at the StarCraft arena where we were looked mostly empty until like the last half, and then it filled up very quickly at the end. So it was definitely pretty full. It looked like almost everywhere.
Yeah. I don't mind the Mythic. I think...
I'm just saying that, like, if you want to see the concert that's going to happen there,
well,
then it's going to be tough because clearly,
which one? Who's on which stage?
I think they've already said. I think the schedule shows. I think Train is on that stage.
Okay. With Mike Morheim possibly leaving the company-ish.
Yeah, stepping down from his current role anyway.
Maybe they didn't really say if he's going to be back. Yeah. At BlizzCon, but it really sure felt like he's not going to be back.
He said goodbye to his parents.
Yeah.
That's I'm not going to see you guys again move.
He might be there to hang out in the Steve Wozniak role.
Yeah, they're isn't it cool? Remember me?
Yeah, I love everything that they're doing here, and I'm the hype man.
Company cheerleader role.
Yeah. But it certainly felt like I'm handing off the baton of being on stage. And if that's the case, I'm not sure that anybody really has the weight or gravity to keep me needing to be at the main stage anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. That guy, was it J. Allen Brack?
Yeah, I think this is
did not seem, and who knows, maybe he just needs to...
It's his first time in front of a crowd.
Get some more time in front of the big crowd or whatever. Yeah. So,
he said content a lot.
He loves Andrew. Everyone loves content. It's all about content, and
experiences.
And you're listening to content right now.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna put some content in your content when you're content
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
he said content so many times. I couldn't even keep track.
Yeah.
I think that my strategy then might be to try and get into the Overwatch arena or something.
Yeah.
Go to the place where I want to hear the news, or go to the place with the demo station you want to try and get into.
Yeah, I think that's the secondary move. If you're not going to get to the place that is the main stage or the main thing, then go hang out by the demo stations, because those open up immediately, and then you can go jump in and see whatever the new hotness is.
It's sad that it is also part of the passing of the baton, that the rearrangement of the convention has now spread it all out.
Yeah. Yeah. You really have to move back and forth across the whole convention to see everything. Because whereas the past, there were definitely parts of the convention hall that felt underused. And I think we even mentioned that last year at BlizzCon, that really there's kind of half of a hall that's kind of empty. This year that did not feel that way. It felt like a lot of them were full.
Yeah, which is better. Also, it's changed how you view doing the demos or going to see things, because if you wanted to do Overwatch and Hearthstone because you were most excited about those, well, they're pretty close together. But if you were most excited about Diablo and Hearthstone,
That's literally the opposite sides of the con.
You're doing a long walk and a long wait in line and then a long walk to get back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's only having done the one demo on one end.
Yeah. Well, do we want to talk a little bit about the stuff that we saw, at least?
Or the news. We should talk about the news,
sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
Hearthstone is doing another set.
Yeah, kind of expected. Releases in December. It's Troll and Gurubashi Arena themed.
As the resident Hearthstone remaining player,
yeah,
you seem lackluster.
Yeah, I mean they revealed a few cards I saw on the internet, and they seemed fine. I don't know. I'm not like jumping out of my chair for Hearthstone stuff anymore.
Even the people we know that play Hearthstone, the response was tepid.
Yeah, I don't think it's because the idea of the set isn't exciting. I think it's because the game has kind of gotten stale, and not just in the idea of like the meta has gotten stale or like the decks are bad, although those complaints certainly exist. I think it's that the idea of the game is boring. They have not changed what the game is fundamentally or added new things to the game in a pretty long time. And I have been playing other card games that have done those things frequently.
Yeah.
And this game is not that.
Yeah. The interest level has dropped.
Literally, the only thing it has going for it is that it's on my phone, and a lot of those other games are not.
Ouch.
And
all right, let's go with something else that seemed quietish.
Mm-hmm.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Classic has a demo now.
Yeah. Owners of the virtual ticket can download and play that demo themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We have not tried it yet. I would like to.
We were jokingly saying we were going to try it out tonight because it's a level 15 to 19 demo.
Yeah, it is.
But I know that I will not keep my eyes open waiting for that 10 gigs to download.
Yeah, I will not do that either. But I will probably play it through after the fact. I'm
curious to see what quality of life came backward.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see. Yep. Like they said, original gameplay, blah, 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 but really original. 2003.
Like go to Stormwind or Ironforge and spam the chat looking for a group to go do Deadmines.
I mean, there must be some people that want that. I don't, but it must be. I do not know.
Craft soul shards 9 million times.
Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that I wonder. Like
the logistics parts.
They made so many good changes to that game over the years. Even if you don't like where WoW is now in terms of its leveling or in terms of the way that game plays, the quality of life stuff that they added, they just removed boring, pointless MMO grind. Do you remember how long it takes to fly between zones in WoW?
A long time.
Mm-hmm. Are they going to leave it the way it was, where those flights were so long?
They were. Remember when you'd fly through Stranglethorn? No, not Stranglethorn. What was the Ungoro Crater?
Yeah.
Fly over that, and you'd walk away from your computer for 20 minutes.
Yeah. There were, fly between Ironforge and Stormwind. You can go to the market and back in that amount of time.
I think I can answer that question for you. Yes.
They're going to leave it?
They will put back the original flight path times.
Man. And there's going to be attunements for all the raids. There's going to be... Oh, gosh. I just don't know who wants that stuff.
They do the things that are good,
so then is it going to be
save the raid.
Is it going to be 40 mans or 25s?
25s.
Because, they were 40 to start.
Yeah. I guess. Good point.
So, I'm curious.
Yeah.
I don't know that I will play Classic WoW when it comes out, but I certainly am interested to see what it becomes. They did announce that you don't need to buy a separate subscription for it. So it's going to be rolled in. You have the option to play it with your World of Warcraft subscription, which is probably the only thing they could do with that, right?
Yep. The new guy tried to get the Horde Alliance thing going, get people hype about some mid-patch thing.
He was just a little He tried.
He seemed excited.
Yeah.
I have nothing against that. Overwatch got a cool new video, and
that reunion video, one of the better ones that they've done.
Better one, yeah. And a new hero named Ash, whose gang is called the Deadlock Rebels.
Yeah,
who have a cool logo. So all their stuff sold out immediately after they revealed it.
Yep.
So kudos to the designer of the Deadlock Rebels logo.
Yeah, good job. You made some stuff people like.
Yeah, people bought your stuff. She was fun. We actually ended up trying and playing her.
Yeah, we did get the Overwatch demo.
There were a lot of people playing her.
Yeah,
which
we had is obviously
not always been the case.
Yeah, it's not generally how people. I mean, it's not generally the right, quote unquote, right way to play Overwatch. And,
right, 5 of everything on every side.
Yeah, I mean, they took the hero limits off for these demos because they know everyone wants to try the new person. And I think we had, of our team of 6, we had 3 or 4 Ashes at a time, and then a healer and maybe a tank or maybe whoever else.
Yeah.
But Ash was fun. I killed someone as her, so clearly she can't be that hard to play.
I've definitely sniped 2 people with her easily.
I headshotted a Zenyatta. I felt real good about it. And I was like, yeah, nice.
Yeah, you should.
I couldn't throw the dynamite anywhere near anyone for really any use at all. I was awful with it.
I kind of used it as a deterrent. I sort of rolled it in front of me. People would scatter and run away.
They were up on a hill above us, or like a ledge, and I was just kind of throwing it up there, and I just felt like they were just like, we're just going to come at you, and it didn't do anything.
Oh, well.
But that was fun.
It was fun. Yeah. I liked it. I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't any... We got a new video. So in Blizzard's mind, we did get story mode, but I would like a real playable story mode rather than waiting for video story mode.
I think you should give up that dream. I don't think there's going to be a real single player story.
I would pay for it. I would pay another bunch of money for it.
I just don't think that's what they want to do. They want the multiplayer stuff. That's what they want.
I think we get through the announcements tonight, and then we'll do the floor stuff tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like what we saw.
Okay.
But I don't think we could definitely haven't finished the announcements. There's nothing for StarCraft except Zeratul, a
new co-op commander.
But they led with that and Heroes, and they kind of like buried the lead a little bit. And they're like, here, we got a bunch of stuff coming.
There's a new hero for Heroes.
Yeah, there is a new hero. They're
doing stuff, their same stuff still. Then they, what else did we not talk about yet?
Did we get all the games?
I think, Diablo.
Diablo is the last one, but...
Right. No, there are 2 others. There's 2 others.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's right.
So we'll talk about Diablo first, I guess. They talked about Diablo on the Switch, very briefly. Hey, it's out.
Hey, we made this cool game, and we've made sure that it works on this other system.
Go play it.
Mm-hmm. You can demo them. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wish that you could manage any of the other stuff.
The demo is very bare bones.
But so much so you don't get an idea of what the inventory is like.
Yeah.
Which is not a good idea.
Kind of unfortunate there.
Because I want to know how you manage stuff. Like, how do I pick that axe up and equip it? How hard is that? Does it take a long time? Because if it takes a long time, I'll just stay on my PC.
I need to see if my numbers go up. It's very important.
Exactly. Glossed over that to jump into the mystery event. A lot of us noticed that the con floor was missing a spot. Mm-hmm. There was a giant blank space next to Diablo.
Yep.
And then yesterday, I pointed out to some people that Diablo was getting a mystery phone case. Mm-hmm. And so I said, guaranteed it's a phone game.
Yep. Well, you were right.
Yep. Not even just a tablet game. It's 100% a phone game.
Diablo Immortal, which, hey, that's, I played that. They had a phone demo there, a whole bunch of phones there to try it on, and that game is Diablo 3 on your phone, pretty much.
Okay.
You tap buttons, and your left thumb is a little, kind of joystick type thing, which, you place it on there, and that's the center, and then you slide it around to move. Uh-huh. But if you lift it up and place it down again, it recenters the joystick somewhere else, so, it's kind of a little strange. I died a couple times because I lifted my thumb up. And then the other thumb is a main attack button. And then farther out around that are smaller buttons with your other skills. And then loot and other clickable buttons around there. Yeah. Your health potions and whatnot.
Right.
It felt and looked a lot like Diablo 3.
It looked like it in the demo. I will try it. I don't think that I'm sincerely concerned about controls in phone games, but I have to try it to be able to judge it. So I will definitely try that tomorrow.
It was basic. It did what it needed to do, I guess. Yep. I don't know that I'm jumping out of my seats to go play an ARPG, loot game on my phone like this. Right. But, I don't know. They didn't announce price or anything about paying for that. So who knows?
Free to play. It's probably gotta be, because otherwise people aren't going to play it.
Really makes sense that it would be free to play, but then how do they microtransact you?
Yeah, who knows?
So.
I know how. Identifying objects. You got to pay 10 cents to identify the object.
The only loot that I found in that game, you just clicked on it and it showed a picture of what it looked like, and then you clicked it again and it equipped it. Oh. And it said plus 40 health or whatever.
Wow. Okay.
So you could be right.
Yeah.
Maybe rarer stuff, or you get chests or whatever, who knows.
Yeah, that leaves us with the big announcement that and I think is the biggest one. And what else?
And what else?
You said there were two more. Oh, Diablo
was the other one.
Okay, so what should have ended the night, the biggest announcement, the surprise-ish thing.
Yeah, Warcraft 3 Reforged.
All of Warcraft 3, we think.
Well, we don't know.
No confirmation about Frozen Throne.
It certainly seems like Reign of Chaos, at least.
Yeah.
They very explicitly talked about Reign of Chaos.
Absolutely.
Which is the original campaigns for Warcraft 3.
Reforged, meaning they re-asseted everything.
Remastered.
Yeah.
Like they did with, appears to be like what they did with StarCraft 1.
It sounded like they salvaged the code, but they went in and re-edited much of it.
Yeah, they showed some. They showed a side by side of the old Arthas model and the new Arthas model, and wow,
it's 8 polygons on one side and 12 million on the other.
Yeah,
yeah. I wonder which one looks better and has better definition.
Yeah, they say it goes plays in 4K. Really high res looking, beautiful looking graphics.
Would you buy this without knowing too much more about it if it was $25?
Probably.
We haven't demoed it yet, obviously, but
yeah, they have one demo there. It's the Culling of Stratholme mission. I would probably buy it if all of the cutscenes and all of the stuff from Warcraft 3 plays well.
Yeah.
And just looks this good, I would probably do it.
So my question or my observation...
If the UI is more usable too, that's important.
Yeah. So my observation at the beginning, and kind of this is what I was getting at, is they brought back Warcraft 3. For some people that played WoW, it was their first... I mean, WoW was a phenomenon. It was, for some people, it was even their first game, but for a lot of people, it was like their first RPG, first intro to the Warcraft universe, all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
So in my mind, a lot of people are going to be excited that Warcraft 3 is out in a remastered version, but the marketing is to people our age. Mostly.
Sure. I think they did lean into it a little bit, and they're like, hey... Maybe if you didn't see these games, these is remember all the stuff about Arthas being the Lich King? This is before Arthas was the Lich King, right?
Yeah.
You want to see how that happened? This is the game that showed all that. You're clearly recognizing the fact that a lot of people never played these games.
Yeah.
And did not know what they were about.
Right.
I played them and it was a big deal for me back in the day, but
I played, I think I wore out one of my Warcraft discs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frozen Throne was the one for me. I played a lot of Frozen Throne.
Well,
in college.
Because that's where the series ended. So by the time we were in college, Frozen Throne was long in the tooth and And it was the only way you could get online and play, really.
So many use map settings. But yeah, so I think that was a pretty solid set of announcements.
I feel like most of it was, again, some of it I feel really disconnected from now, and some of it feels like it ran out and grabbed me, like Warcraft 3 ran out and grabbed me, and the new hero for Overwatch was cool, and then others just feel like, oh, do I just not like game? Oh no, I don't like that game, or
I think you said it to me earlier, and I think you were right that the announcement of the Diablo phone game was handled wrong, in that there are probably people that are very into this game and think it's very good.
Sure.
This crowd was not those people, I think, by and large.
Yeah.
Generally, PC gamers, Blizzard's fan base being mostly, they started as a PC company mostly, and they make stuff on other consoles and stuff now too.
Well,
but
they started out with Rock and Roll Racing? Was that their game?
I think it was, yeah, or
Lost Vikings.
Uniracers and that stuff.
So there's some console stuff in there.
But they're having, recently been mostly a PC company with Diablo.
They talked about Lost Vikings so many times in that thing. I thought the secret announcement was going to be that they remastered Lost Vikings.
Hey, that would have been pretty cool.
I'd play it. I'd play it right now.
Sadly, no.
Yeah.
And I think that phone game has an audience. I just don't think this convention was that audience.
I don't think so either. That audience is casual Activision players of Call of Duty.
Or there are people that like phone games. It's just, I don't think Blizzard has any of those fans yet. And maybe they will by the time this game comes out, because they'll have found the marketing for that. But this is not how you announce that game to this group, because these people are just like you could almost hear people groan.
Yeah.
In some cases, oh, it's a phone game. Maybe it's good.
There's going to be bloodshed, man. You should read some of the Twitter comments.
People were
unkind.
Yeah.
It's not that, first of all, they licensed it mostly. So.
Yeah, I mean, the name of the developer popped up in the trailer, so It's not even all wholly Blizzard developed.
No. And with what that really means, it's just MMO and non-Blizzard developed and possibly free to play. I think everyone has the feeling that it just doesn't stand a chance of being good.
Yeah. And maybe it will be good, but I think you were right, and these aren't the people that
investors.
These aren't the people that are going to play it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm excited to walk the floor tomorrow. I know that there's going to be a lot to talk about, what we stood in line to do for some of today, and definitely tomorrow. What we demo, what we get to see, how the music festival goes. It's not a concert.
Yeah, man.
And some closing thoughts or something. So, we'll be back.
All right.
I think I'm recording.
Okay.
Welcome back. We Were Gamers, episode
120.
BlizzCon, number BlizzCon. 77.
Yeah. BlizzCon.
Day 2, BlizzCon 2018.
Yeah.
We took a break yesterday as I was falling asleep in my chair while podcasting.
Yep. It was late. We talked about everything we had on our mind, and
yeah, definitely the opening ceremony reaction. Which I guess we could dovetail into talking about some other people's reactions to the news. I think we were of the opinion that we were disappointed in the Diablo announcement.
Right.
And over the course of the day today, kind of came to the realizations that we just don't think it should have been the Keyhead announcement, maybe.
Yeah. The reaction was probably predictable.
Yeah.
In that they should... I'm sure they knew at some level.
Let's say the reaction of disappointment is predictable-ish in the U.S. audience. Now, we've done some digging, and it sounds like in China this is going to be very, very popular.
Well, I mean...
Probably,
yeah. And, I don't know. No one ever knows for sure, but it seems like there are other games like this in China that are very popular. So, it seems like there's a decent chance that would this would stand to continue.
I don't think they could have known. They definitely knew, right? Because they put out that notice.
Right.
Hey. They knew people were going to be expecting the moon.
Right.
And it's really, a game that's something you've seen before-ish, but comes from Blizzard.
Yeah.
Which maybe you could argue Hearthstone was a little bit, too.
I was going to say, if you think about it, right, they've put out a few games like this over the years. When they did Hearthstone, phone game, all that stuff. And then when they did...
Heroes of the Storm?
Kind of. Yeah, a little bit.
It's a game that already existed.
Yeah, definitely. And then when they brought Diablo to consoles also.
Sure, yeah. Also a game that kind of already existed.
And was a PC-only game, and then they brought it to consoles, and that was a big, a company that had really only done PC games up to that point. Recent.
An iteration of a company that it had only done, right?
Yeah,
they walked away from the SNES at that point.
Yeah,
I guess.
It really hadn't done console games in a generation,
sure.
Basically.
Yeah, easily.
So, it was they probably knew at some point people weren't going to be totally thrilled. Right. They probably didn't expect the level of unhappiness that
vitriol.
That some people were displaying, which, being disappointed is one thing, but being an idiot online is something completely else.
Yeah. It's good to voice sometimes your sadness at not getting something that you were hoping for.
Sure.
But like threatening people or saying that, this is somehow a negative to you when it's not just something that doesn't affect you, right?
Yeah. As much as, maybe I would have liked to see a different product, I'm not in charge at Blizzard, so I don't get to decide what gets made and what doesn't.
Yeah.
If they don't want to put out the thing that I want, then
I think that they know
bad.
What everybody wants. It's just that's not what you get this year.
Yeah, and I think they basically said that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. I agree with you, and I think that your point was that they could have bookended it a little better.
Yeah.
Make some announcements about WoW, hey, we're doing this Diablo phone game, and then bring out the guy to announce Warcraft 3 Reforged, and hey, here's this thing that you've definitely been wanting and is really rad. Like, don't worry, that phone game thing is going to be over there for people that want it.
Yeah, maybe it should just be that Overwatch, no matter what it is, because it's always at least a character is last.
Yeah, and people love that Overwatch.
Yeah.
So
we talked about that a little bit yesterday anyway. We never talked about our experiences, like what we did, what we played, how it played, what we thought about it, and what we thought of the whole con at the end, and what we bought, because part of BlizzCon is merch.
Yeah, they always have a lot every year, and usually after the opening ceremonies go up, a bunch of mystery items appear.
Ooh.
Yeah,
some of them have actually been good, like the year that the mystery item was the Blizzard, because they had introduced Blizzard World, so then the Blizzard World poster went up, which I have.
That was a very cool one.
So some of the mystery items have been pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah. This year they had some good ones. There was the Overwatch character Ashe. Mm-hmm. Her gang had some like cool T-shirts and bandanas and stuff with their logo on it.
Yeah, I ended up with a T-shirt from the Deadlock gang.
Yeah.
Which is a weird combination of words to try and get to something that's probably not offensive to anybody.
Yeah.
Because there's probably a lot of other gangs out there that they didn't want to run into words for.
Yeah. So, you want to sound vaguely menacing, but like,
much like my opinion of her costume, her gang's name is a hodgepodge, but the gang name came out better than maybe her outfit did.
Yeah.
My strongest opinion from the convention, I think, entirely.
Is that Ash's outfit is bad this year? Or not bad?
I don't think it's bad as much as it is.
It's kind of boring.
It's bland in a way that it felt like somebody tried to take the best parts of a lot of things and then
almost designed by committee.
It's just too much.
Too many people got involved in the decision.
Yeah, yeah. Or no, I don't know if it's too many people. I think it's just like you take something from here and something from here and something from here, and yeah, you might make the perfect X, but that maybe wasn't the image it needed to be.
Yeah.
Right? She still her backstory. We can talk about Ashe for a second.
Yeah,
but her backstory they finally revealed in another video later on in the con, and she's just a spoiled rich kid that didn't get any attention, so she left home.
And she wanted to create her own family, and her own family is
gang.
A gang.
Yeah.
And a robot.
Right.
Who does something and then kills you.
Mm-hmm.
That was my experience playing Overwatch at the con. Bob, do something! And then I die. That was pretty much my experience.
Yep. Yeah. Or hearing that about 7 times and trying to run away and still having Bob leap out of the sky and grab you.
Yeah, it's like, doesn't matter where you are, Bob does something, and usually the thing he does is kill you.
Yeah. Or
launch you 700 miles up into the air, and then someone else on their team kills you.
True. Yeah, so... her backstory means she looks, she has to look preppy. Well, she shouldn't look, she kind of does look preppy still. She has very nice clothes.
Yeah.
But should she still look preppy?
Starched white shirt.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on there that I think 1 or 2 costumes in will look better. But
I think I agree with that about a lot of Overwatch characters' default outfits. That there's always usually 1 or 2 skins that are way better than the default outfit.
Mm-hmm. The Hanzo suit is pretty good. Genji's stock skin's really good. A lot of the Summer Games skins really come out well.
Yeah.
On people.
I like that one from Lucio.
The team skins actually did a lot for the characters too, I think.
Okay. I haven't really seen or played with much of those.
So the creation of new skins, while some of them are ridiculous, others really are really good.
And the silly ones are fun too in their own ways.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if we're not 5 years into into Overwatch yet.
Sure.
But I would not be surprised if 7-10 years into Overwatch they announce a graphics overhaul and a lot of the stock character skins get revamped, I think, for new character models.
So that's a good question. I mean, do you think they do Overwatch 2 at some point?
Ooh, you can't axe this game and bring out a new one?
No, not axe it. I mean, let people keep playing Overwatch 1 if they want, but Overwatch 2 is the next game, and then they do a thing with that, like Overwatch 1. You bring back some of the old favorites. They can move the timeline forward or whatever, and
I don't think they're anywhere near moving the timeline forward.
Oh, I don't think so either, but I'm just saying that, that's the eventual game plan.
How old is Dota 2?
I mean, how do you want to count it?
From the release at Valve.
At Valve?
Yeah.
Probably 8-9 years. Yeah.
Okay. And last year or the year before, they basically said, we're starting over a bunch of stuff. Here's a huge patch with everything changed.
When did they... They redid a ton of stuff. Yeah, maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago.
So I would expect
2 years maybe.
Here's what I would expect. About 7 years in, because they've been reworking a lot of characters. Torbjorn just got a huge redux.
Yeah.
They're not shy about saying this character is just getting changed completely.
Yeah.
It hasn't waited for a huge patch to change everything. So we could see something gosh, it takes so long to make those maps, though. Yeah. I was thinking StarCraft maps where they just threw out a bunch of them, but I don't know. Maybe a few years into it, they say, you know what, all these maps were great, but here's 5 new ones.
Okay, it could be.
6 new characters.
It's really hard to know what they do with a live game like Overwatch.
Yeah,
projecting out into the future because there's the league, there's all this other stuff. What do they do with all that?
But it feels like they've hit a homeostasis in Overwatch of just kind of new character, new map, 2 new characters, 1 new map, 2 new characters, 1 new map.
Sure.
Make some videos for new maps or characters.
I actually think that Overwatch, we talked about it a little bit, but that Overwatch video reunion that they had where it introduces Ashe is really good, actually.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So, I really like her overall. I just think that her costume...
Well, so we played as her and against her several times. We alluded to, we think maybe her ult is a little overtuned.
So yeah, we did play Overwatch a bunch. The lines on the floor this year, just as an aside, ebbed and flowed quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you could kind of walk by a booth and it would be full, and then walk by a couple hours later and it's empty. So there was no real... There was definitely at the end of Saturday a glut of people in as all the finals had finished and music hadn't started yet.
Yeah.
Which I noticed is going to be a problem in the future if they can keep this format, because all the stages are used right up until the end.
Yep. And then there's like
with this format.
There's a 30-minute,
more
45-minute break.
Yeah, depending on how long the finals go.
Yeah.
Could be up to an hour and a half of people just
sitting,
hanging out, waiting for music to start, and then the flood happens.
Yeah. I think it was smart of them to get rid of the like quote unquote closing ceremony.
Yeah.
Because I mean, as we remember from previous years, nothing ever happens at the closing ceremony.
Well, you got to watch that fun video about like the weekend.
Yeah, and like, oh, look how cool BlizzCon is. Thanks for coming out. We love you guys. The fans are the best. And, you know, that's the...
Yeah.
Of course they say that. And also, like, I'm sure they also mean it. Mm-hmm. But it really needs to... It could be 5 minutes long. It didn't need to be an hour.
They might have
like
done
it used
that.
to be
I
in
don't
the past.
know. We didn't watch.
Yeah.
Overwatch we got through a couple times.
Yeah.
Ash is fun to play with some limitations from our standpoint of being casual gamers.
We're not good at Overwatch.
We're not great. But, you know, the movement of her shotgun, I think, is going to be better than we were at using it.
Yeah. I liked that I could rocket jump myself with the shotgun. I'm not any good at doing that, but I definitely did it.
Yeah, it didn't move you very far, though. It's not like it jumped you up a level or anything.
You could have. I think if you were placed the right way, you could like jump yourself up a level backwards or something. Mm. But yeah, it certainly was beyond me to do that.
I'm waiting for the pro players to use the shotgun and knock somebody back, throw the dynamite, and shoot the dynamite all in one little thing, because they are that good. They can do something.
Oh, I believe
like
it.
that.
Yeah, I believe it.
And then we'll hear how broken she is or something. You know, we already know though that she's broken.
The ult is
because her ultimate is to summon her little robot friend who rams into you for most of your life.
Little robot friend.
Yeah,
this gigantic robot friend who has like 1,000 health or something, like some huge number.
Insane.
And I think Bob, the ult, will get a little tuning, hopefully, before it comes out.
Yeah, he's going to get the banhammer if they're not careful.
All right.
That's Overwatch.
That's Overwatch.
Did you buy any Overwatch merch? I bought the shirt for the Deadlock Gang, and I bought some Overwatch playing cards.
Oh, cool. Those playing cards were cool, actually. We saw those.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any Overwatch merch this year.
And the Lego exclusive Bastion.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool set. We could talk about those Legos for a sec, because they unveiled an entire line of Overwatch Legos.
First year sponsor of the show / attendee vendor, all sorts of stuff. Lego was on the floor with only
Overwatch. And there were Lego Overwatch, like maybe 6 sets or something?
All the ones that had been leaked through Target. And so you can go look that up on brickset.com.
Or you can go to the official page now.
Yeah, I think they're now revealed. There's the Payload is one of them.
With, I think, a Tracer and someone else on that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Widowmaker, I think.
Maybe.
And I think that's the 2. There's El Dorado with 76 Reaper and one other one, maybe Farah.
I think Farah is with the space shuttle.
Oh, okay. Then there's Gibraltar with the space shuttle with Winston, Farah, and Reaper again for some reason.
Edgelords are popular, I guess. And then there's the what's the name of the map? Shoot, the Hanzo and Genji set, and the
Hanzo Genji with the Hanamura.
Hanamura, there we go. Thank you.
At the end.
It has like the Hanamura temple.
The final capture point,
Yeah.
And then they also had a Transforming Bastion.
Yeah.
Which
a big scale Transforming Bastion.
Legit. I think I liked all the sets.
Yeah, they looked good. Mm-hmm. I think I liked the El Dorado and the Hanamura sets the least.
Okay.
But
they're definitely the simplest.
I think the Lego minifigs were very cool. All of them.
The Winston looks like it would sit in the palm of your hand very nicely. And
Winston is 3 times the size of the next closest minifig.
Yes, but he's shaped like a minifig.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is. he's gorillas are bigger than humans, so he is bigger than all the humans.
Yes, he is. Yeah. That's cool. But it's interesting because that puts Bastion not to scale.
Yeah. Huh.
Because
even the smaller set for Bastion is way too big.
But every Bastion is his own set, basically. So I don't think you'll ever see a Bastion minifigure.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do it either. And what are they going to do about Zenyatta? I guess you could just make his face.
Yeah, you just paint it on.
Yeah, okay.
But we liked those. Those were cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
And they also had a gigantic Lego Diva.
The Lego Diva on the statue was pretty cool.
That was fun.
All right. Other games. Let's see. We played some Heroes of the Storm.
That game is still Heroes of the Storm. The new hero seems pretty good.
Yep. Yeah. We both are not good at that game, but
we're not terrible.
We're not terrible, but we're not good. Great. No. But yeah, we did that.
Classic World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Gosh, that sure seemed like I was back in the dorm room in 2003 and 4.
Did it though?
It felt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a wave of feeling like I should play this again because it felt good to me.
I remember
while we sat down at it.
It played a lot like I remember that playing.
Yeah.
No one knew where to go. It was just a giant empty field a lot of the time. You were competing with people for spawns. So, that was it. I don't think I will play Classic WoW. Which, I mean, I guess to be fair, I probably wasn't going to do that anyway. I mean, I'm not likely to resubscribe to World of Warcraft. And then I have to do that for this. And I don't think this is an enticement enough to get me back in. So, great. I'm glad it's there for people that want it. Yeah, I don't think that's me.
It was interesting that the one panel we sat down at this year was for this.
I thought it was interesting. I actually enjoyed listening to that panel.
I did too. I wish that it had been a little bit more of the info that I wanted, which was looking forward, what is this game going to be, and what are the improvements that you're putting in versus the stuff that's bad that you're keeping. I don't mind them keeping the things that people call bad, like the weapon skills and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. What the things that I don't like that they have kept or not keeping are the quality of life improvements.
Well, I think the removal of the quality of life stuff is something that people actively want, though.
But like LFR and screaming into chat seems like a...
Yeah, I think I think there's some subset of people that very specifically don't want those features.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
As an example, it was very clear when he was like, raid finder, never.
Yeah.
Like cross realm grouping, never. Right? It was just like we would never even consider this, and so okay, like this is where they're drawing the line. It's like WoW used to be back in that time. That's what they want.
Yeah, in all the good and bad ways.
Yeah.
So the bad ways might outweigh it for me. Yeah, I might sit with the demo and play 4 levels.
Yeah, I may install the demo. We'll see. It depends on how bored I get in the next week, because they really only have about a week to try it.
Yeah, I think that's enough on that. Diablo had a demo area and a secret demo area because the map was empty. Hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
You could try it on the Switch, and we did.
Yeah, that seems like Diablo 3. That was fun.
We tried it on the phone.
That also seemed like Diablo 3.
I broke one of the phones.
Yeah, Andrew QA'd their demo for them somehow, straight into a crash where he couldn't press the buttons anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just being unresponsive completely. So he had to switch phones to a different one.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, that was amazing that they had to bring over the specialist, the guy that was not wearing a Blizzard employee's shirt, that was clearly above the pay grade, or at least above the access grade of most of the people there. And he was even like, guess we got to
hard reboot the phone and exit out of the special demo mode and everything.
It was crazy. That was fun. Not as fun. That was more fun than the game, maybe.
Yeah, the game felt a lot like Diablo 3. in terms of like actually playing.
It looks like Diablo 3.
And it looks exactly like Diablo 3. But the actual playing of it, because it's a phone thing,
I never need to touch it again.
Yeah, I don't think I need to do that again.
If they make me play it to get items for other games and it's free to play, there's an odd chance that I would put in the minimum amount of time to get those items.
If nothing else, maybe I would install like an Android emulator on my computer. And download it
that might be better, and keybind to the...
Yeah, and then maybe like at least play it a little bit there just to get the free items and then call it a day. I don't think I have any desire to play it long term. It's just not... I don't find holding a phone like that for long periods comfortable.
No.
Yeah.
And you could go out and get handles and all sorts of stuff to put your phone in, but at that point, you should
play a Switch.
Yeah, play a Switch. It would be better game overall, and that's the way that it is. I don't want to spend much more time on Diablo.
Yeah.
But I did want to note for anyone that listens ever, if you're going to demo a game, I know that there has to be a lot of stuff that you probably have to leave out so people don't get lost in menu. You're trying to give a guided experience of a game.
Right.
The Switch thing that we played was not a guided experience of anything.
Yeah.
They jumped us way overpowered into a rift with skills we couldn't change.
I mean...
Or maybe you could.
No, I don't think you could. But, you started at level 70 immediately, which... I mean, okay, at this point, you knew how to play Diablo 3.
I do
it's
too.
not like you were lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, I didn't know what the build is supposed to do.
Right.
So, like, how am I...
Sit there and read every tooltip in the 5 minutes we get?
Completely unfamiliar with the controls as well. So then I'm like, do I want to hit A to use the skill? Oh, wait, is it X I want to... Oh, no, I think... okay, Y is a toggle, and then...
Yeah, this the right click is the...
I keep jamming health potion instead of using my AoE, and, like, and the phone game had a similar issue, too, where it's just like... I'm not real sure what the thing is supposed to be here.
And so, if that's the problem, give some time for reading tooltips or make a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And then also, the very important things for some of these types of games is like being able to look at your inventory.
Especially for a game like this where it's all about the loot, right?
Items, yeah. And that kind of got me as a pet peeve of like, you kind of I need to be demoed this information because it's important to me.
And while we played, loot dropped. I barely knew what it did. If it did anything, it just like plus 20 health.
How it looked or anything.
Yeah, it's like, this one has a green arrow. I guess I'm equipping it now.
Yeah, that was the one thing I noticed about that phone game is that equipping and stuff didn't change your character.
Yeah, it was just like, hey,
very clearly people need to look at it and say, that's a monk, that's a this, that's a that. And then you get skins probably, and that's about it. That was the tell. This is a skins game, not an armor equipment game.
Because I equipped a... blue leggings or whatever. My character outfit didn't change, but it had a green line and I equipped it and then my health went plus 20. Or I equipped a head thing and I had 10 defense. Yeah. Which, by the way, defense is not a stat in Diablo. So that's interesting.
And it is, yeah.
So.
All right, well, Diablo, World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm. We didn't play StarCraft.
No, we did not play StarCraft. There was a new co-op commander, but...
Hearthstone.
Yeah, Hearthstone. We checked out a Tavern Brawl.
Yeah.
That features some of the new cards and the Gurubashi Arena themed expansion whose name I've forgotten already. Something troll based. Anyway.
Forgettable.
Yeah, the name wasn't great.
I think that game's in trouble.
Yeah. I wasn't hyper excited by it.
I don't know why I think that because I'm out of that game, but I feel like the hype in the room was not high.
Yeah, Hearthstone is in a weird place at BlizzCon because it's really segregated over in that other hall. Like literally, if you went to BlizzCon, you could never see Hearthstone if you wanted to.
Even if you went to that area for the Darkmoon Fair, you could avoid it entirely.
You would not see any Hearthstone if you didn't want to. And that makes it kind of weird. In that you really would just like be alone over there, and that Hearthstone like downstairs area has there's the area with the demo stations, like an area where like meet and greet for streamers and signings and stuff, the casters for their esports stuff, and then a giant stage and nothing else in that whole area.
Yeah, not an efficient use of space.
No, very strange down there. So Hearthstone You and I had a fun game.
Yeah.
It got very strange.
If Hearthstone Tavern Brawls were that all the time...
They certainly are weird sometimes, but this was very strange. The decks were full with cards that are just unbelievably broken. I
don't think we need to go into describing all of them.
No, but like to give you a hint of like the idea of how good some of them are, one of them was a 1-mana 2/2, which is already ridiculously good. And then it has start of game, draw this card, and then battle cry, upgrade your hero power. So that's like insane.
Yeah, you could win by,
just playing that card.
Playing that card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was very silly, but Andrew and I got up to some shenanigans, and that was fun.
That was fun. And it was cool to experience it. The lines were not long, which is somewhat concerning.
I don't remember them being long in previous years, though, either. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. League of Explorers was maybe the best expansion the game's ever seen, and the line for that was short. Was nothing.
I think the Hearthstone stuff is like you play it once and you're done. You don't really need to see much more. That game is at its best when it lets you do shenanigans.
Yeah.
And the shenanigans were on display in that Tavern Brawl.
Sure. We could go to... Oh, we should just go to the last game we played.
Sure.
Because it was the one we were most excited about, and we actually made a point to play at least twice.
Yeah. So we played Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Which you got amp about, man.
I was pretty excited about that. I ended up buying a t-shirt.
So, yeah, I was going to say, we should dip back into the merch conversation here.
Yeah, I played that game the first time. We played it twice. The first time I figured... So that screen, there's only one mission playable, the Culling of Stratholme, relatively famous mission. I guess we didn't mention before, but Frozen Throne is included as part of this package.
I think we were wondering it yesterday.
We weren't sure. But
I said that it had to be, and you were unconvinced.
Well, because they never talked about it.
It's fine, but I agree with you.
You were correct in that it is included. Their website explicitly says so. So that's good, because I agree with you. It should be included. So Culling of Stratholme, very famous mission. I feel like one of the better ones that people know about, as Arthas kind of finally turns to the dark side. And their first screen, you click play, and then it presents you a choice. Do you want to play on normal or hard? And the way they described those two let me think normal was like, I don't really command armies, my lord, but you could count on me. And then the hard one is like, I want a challenge. And I was like, that one sounded like easy.
Yeah.
And then the other one sounded like actually hard.
Yeah.
Where's the middle here? So the first time...
I know what I'm doing, but I don't want to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And so the first time we played it, I was like, I could do this. I remember Warcraft 3. I'll play on hard.
I did the same.
That didn't go well.
Things fell apart towards the end pretty quickly.
I remembered I had to build more peasants. I did that.
Yeah.
I did the stuff you do when you play Warcraft 3. I built farms. I rallied footmen to my hero.
I complained that the map only had one gold mine.
Yeah. I couldn't expand. Very frustrating. High upkeep was really terrible.
Oh, man.
I had so many footmen and rifle guys because I forgot I had to upgrade my town center so I could build knights.
I forgot how valuable units were.
Yeah. You lose
3 footmen and you're like, oh,
I have no guys now.
I don't have any money to build them again.
And you have to be microing. And by the way, there's a unit cap of guys you can select at once.
And ghouls beating on footmen takes forever. Fighting actually takes a long time.
You need to be microing all your guys to all attack the same unit. Otherwise, you will not ever kill anything. It's just going to be 2 guys hitting each other, and the armies never change sides. So that was a lesson.
It was a reawakening.
Yeah. And so I lost the first time through.
I too lost.
It wasn't really close. I did okay for a while. The mission is kind of like a race with the AI a little bit.
Yeah.
And I fell behind in the middle, and then I got in a big fight with the AI's hero, and the hero killed me, and then it was just over from there.
Yeah,
so we went back later and replayed it again. I picked normal this time.
I picked hard.
Yeah. And wow, normal is way easier. Holy smokes.
Hard was actually easier the second time around, and I again got into a fight with the AI accidentally. But this time, I used Arthas to kite the AI.
They chased you.
And used the remainder of my army, which I had town portaled, to finish the mission. So I won that one 100-93.
Nice. On normal, I kept the AI from... So it's like you're racing the AI to like take over this town and kill off these plagued civilians. And, you're doing evil stuff here, killing the civilians. And the AI killed about 17. And then I killed the AI hero over and over and over. And I kept him at 17 for about 80% of the mission till I got to like 80. And then we got in a big fight. I still killed him, but at that point, then he took most of my troops out, so I had to wait a little while and go back.
Yeah.
And then his people killed a bunch more buildings while I was regrouping my forces. So I literally had I got too big. But my hero, because there are other you open some of those buildings and there are monsters in there.
Yeah, Meat Hook and there's
a necromancer guy. Yeah, I killed all those monsters and got like a ton of sweet items. So my hero was just completely unstoppable. I could have probably soloed his whole army if I had wanted. But I didn't want.
Easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Normal was a bit of a misnomer there. It was, and I finished like 100-30 or something at the end. So I probably could have done better if I'd played on hard and remembered. Oh yeah, you can upgrade the town hall.
Yeah. Let's talk about remasters for a second.
Yeah.
I think this is a good opportunity to discuss because I've played a decent amount of StarCraft Remastered, and that game started as we're going to remaster this, but we're going to just build the game again. We're going to build the game again.
Well, I can't say for sure, but what it looked like to me they did with StarCraft Remastered was take the art and go, okay, this art is
very low resolution. We can't use this again.
Draw on it. We're just going to use this as a reference picture.
Yeah.
You make something that looks good, that looks kind of like this. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to graft it on to this old code so that it kind of runs basically mostly the same. But then also update it so that you can run it on normal Windows systems and interact with the BattleNet and stuff. So it looks like they're doing the same kind of idea here for Warcraft 3. No.
I have an interesting note here. StarCraft is a game that looked realistic at the time.
Sure, yeah.
So when they up-resed it this time, they just went straight for as high textures as they could. I think it is 4K. Mm-hmm. And put as much detail in as they could. Yeah. And it didn't matter if it changed the look of the game by a drastic amount, because the movement of those units was so unique that everything looked the same.
Just because the battlecruiser has 5 times
the number
of polygons and windows and detail, you still see it lumbering at that slow turning speed and whatever, and the Yamato cannon still shoots that red burst or whatever.
Right. Warcraft came with such a different palette and at such a different time that their textures basically didn't exist.
Right.
And when they did,
it was a game that was 3D models, but
it was 3D models,
7 textures total or something. Very low.
And the maps were done at previous to World of Warcraft, etc. So now they've got World of Warcraft, and they've got these very simple palette colors that they're allowed to use if they're remastering the game.
Right.
When I was playing this, at certain points I was like, this is a really big open area.
Yeah.
In this area of the map, there's no reason for it to be there. And it's just a ton of grass texture or a ton of ground texture. And it doesn't look like they did what they did in StarCraft. Like you were saying, they drew over old stuff. It looks like they just tried to kind of up-res it a little bit. But they did redraw the characters. The characters are well done.
And I sat through the panel for this game, and it's similar to what they did for StarCraft, where they talked about, hey, we really wanted the game to play the same with StarCraft, but because the game was more involved, they got limited by some things. You know, they wanted to play the same. That means the orc, when it attacks, it swings its axe. There's an animation for that. There's only one animation for that. And the attack takes 20 frames or whatever it was. That means whatever the new art is, whatever the new model is, has to attack with the exact same animation. And it can only take 20 frames. It doesn't matter how good you want it to look. The orc can't follow through with his swing and then whirl it back around the other way. And or
if you wanted to make Marines look better in StarCraft, right. Their minigun could keep spinning and shooting bullets, even if they still only do the same DPS that they've been doing.
Right. And that's a benefit that StarCraft has that you can't cause to happen in this game. And so, you know, they're limited in those ways because they want the hitboxes to stay the same. They want the attack animations and the balance and all that stuff to stay the same. But where I think that you and I both agree, they aren't limited in they want the ground textures to be the same.
Yeah.
No, please redraw the grass. I don't need it to look like that. Yeah. You know, especially
the thatched roofs on the farms that I built. I was like, these could look better.
Yeah. Yeah, it could. Especially when you compare them with the really high quality models and stuff for the Footmen and Arthas and the Knights and all that stuff. They have reflections and all this extra detail.
My Footman's armor definitely was reflecting and was metallic. Yeah. It wasn't the old flat gray. It was a nice new metallic, shiny, sun reflecting metal. Yeah. And then I marched them around. I thought, this looks like I'm playing 40K on a tabletop or fantasy on a tabletop with a really nice painted army, but we forgot to get a lot of terrain.
Yes.
We just grabbed a few buildings.
That is the perfect analogy because it's okay, we're going to grab this comic book box and use it as the castle and walk that forward. Right. And, this eraser is a tree and these, this green piece of paper is grass over here. And this blue piece of paper is a lake. So it is very, it's very contrasting with the rest of the units.
It's a little jarring. And while I don't think that would prevent me from playing the game, it was something that I was it makes it feel old, but it also makes it feel old-ish still. Mm-hmm. So. I think that we both landed on this being the surprise of the show for us. Some people were not surprised. Apparently, it had leaked out already. Which I had not heard.
Apparently, completely missed me.
Yeah, missed me as well. And while everyone was super excited to play Classic WoW and the new Overwatch hero, I think that this was the thing I was most excited to do and was not disappointed by it. And would definitely play it when it comes out.
I am excited to play Warcraft 3 Reforged when it comes out, for sure.
I didn't get any Warcraft 3 Reforged merchandise.
It's okay.
We did spend 2 hours in a line for other merchandise from Warcraft.
Yeah. We got some plushies. Yeah. Those were good. Mm-hmm.
What do you think about spending 2 hours in a line to get plushies?
I mean, I like the plushie, so that's good.
Do you think that's
I wish it was shorter.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it time for them to... They upgraded the amount of people. But they had the same exact stuff they've been running for the last 3 years in terms of the pet shop hasn't gotten bigger.
Right.
In 3 or 4 years since they've added people every year, and this year they added supposedly thousands. Mm-hmm. And that pet shop has not gotten bigger.
They probably should add another set of registers to that thing.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Or another pet shop downstairs with the store.
Maybe.
Or something. I understand the idea of the Dark Moon Fair being all the cool trading stuff and
I like that. Yeah, I think people like it.
I think so too.
It's pretty popular part of the show for sure. The trading and the pins and the badges and the capsules.
They added a whole new store for this treasure box thing.
Yeah.
And that took up thousands of people.
Yeah, there were lots of people in that line every single time we walked by.
Yeah.
So, it seems like it's growing pains. I guess it's a good problem to have.
But the BlizzCon has now become a little bit of LineCon.
Yeah. I don't know what they can do to combat that for some of this stuff. I know for like they did a fairly good job this year of the demos moving. It didn't feel like there was any cases where the demo lines just stood still for long periods. Overwatch was easily the most populated demo, I think, and that line was constantly moving.
Yeah, it moved.
The Warcraft Reforged line was slower, but it still moved.
It's a long demo. You play the whole level until you lose.
HOTS demo line was moving. The Diablo demo line was empty the entire con. The WoW lines moved at the speed that you would expect. I mean, it was a 30-minute demo of playing old school World of Warcraft. It wasn't that fast.
I don't think it was 30 minutes. I hope it didn't take us 30 minutes to hit one ding.
Dude, that's about right. That's what I remember. It would not have surprised me.
We were messing around for a while.
We were messing around for a while also. I think it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in terms of the demo stuff, they can just fix it by adding more, right? Make the demo areas bigger. But for the stuff like the Dark
Move Diablo over to the Hearthstone area.
Yeah, sure.
Next year, if there's no D4.
Yeah, definitely.
Make let's see. You won't need Warcraft 3 Reforged next year.
Yeah, it'll be out.
It'll be out by then. So
WoW Classic will be out too.
WoW Classic will be out. You won't need a demo area for that.
Or maybe you will.
You might because they'll be patching in.
WoW, yeah.
You want to come try out
this patch you probably already played?
Stratholme? Is that?
No, that was in base game. It would be like, we're patching in Blackwing Lair or whatever.
Yeah, try Upper Blackrock.
That's also the base game.
No, they added on to Upper Blackrock, didn't they? There was two parts to Blackrock, and one got added on later.
It was lower and then upper was like the end game, basically. Then they add Molten Core and Onyxia,
Molten Core is what I'm thinking of because you had to go through
Upper Blackrock to get to Molten Core. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I don't know, man. But like, stuff like the Darkmoon Fair and stuff where they have this like really cool idea built up.
Yeah.
There isn't like a lot more space in that room. They have to like start axing those stages for like the creators stuff, which there are lots of people that really love that stuff and they would probably be super pissed.
Well, they can't move those downstairs because they got the Hearthstone announcers down there all day, every day.
Yeah. So
they're running out of room.
They're kind of stuck up there.
I did notice I went upstairs. The whole upstairs now is like trade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. I tried to go upstairs and not to go to the Hearthstone thing, but to go a different direction to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, sir, your badge is not, professionals or trades there's 3 levels to that convention center and they're not using them.
So I don't know what's happening in that entire second level.
This is where Activision comes in.
So that's like meetings and
business and their marketing and Activision's doing announcements in those areas and like
media.
A whole bunch of stuff that's happening there that we are not privy to.
Sure.
It's like trade show stuff that maybe they should not be doing at the same time. If they're going to be adding in this many people.
Maybe it's a case where they need to bring that stuff to the Blizzard campus, the week before or something.
Yeah. Or during,
yeah.
Because everyone at Blizzard campus is gone working at BlizzCon.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is, but I mean, I guess
more food. They need more food.
Growing pains are, yeah, but I don't know how much more food you can get in there. I mean, they had
food trucks everywhere,
tons of food trucks, food inside everywhere, and like, what else can they do? They did what they could.
Yeah.
There was food to be had if you wanted it bad enough.
A little earlier than everybody else, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, start your lunch at noon instead of 1 o'clock, and you're pretty solid.
I had some very nice meetings with people at component providers that were telling me when things were going to be on sale.
Yeah,
that was nice. I chased Velcro patches again because I'm an idiot.
At least he admits it.
Yeah. And I felt like it was a good one, although we didn't stay to the end. And this is the for the first time in forever that I haven't stayed for the end.
Yeah. And, I think with the different format and stuff, it was different.
I think they need to work out the bugs on the triple band format.
Yeah.
Before I'm willing to stick around for it.
Yeah. I think, I'm sure some people had a great time. It just wasn't for us.
That part of it, definitely. We'll come back to it next year. I think they stick with that format for the bands for next year. What do you think?
If they leave the convention center laid out that way, they don't have much of a choice, I think. Mm. In which case, then they definitely stick with it.
Okay. How many people do you think were upset that they sat on Mythic? They got there 3 hours early to sit on the Mythic stage so they could get to the secret Diablo area.
Got to be some number of people. They're probably bummed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was our plan too, and I guess it didn't pan out.
I wouldn't have been upset. I would have been like, oh,
I wouldn't have been upset.
Well, we can get away from this Diablo area.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a good con overall. This is not my least favorite BlizzCon, but it was certainly not near my favorite.
It's not at the top.
Yeah.
But Warcraft Reforged.
Yeah.
So save the whole thing.
Yeah, man. Very cool.
Without Warcraft Reforged, I think we would have been
way more down on it.
In the dumps a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
It was fun. Predictions for next year?
Gosh, Overwatch Hero is going to show up. New one. I got it.
Okay, I got it.
Slam dunk.
How about this? Overwatch map.
Ooh, spicy. Ooh. Maybe. I think that's probably a
Overwatch video.
100%. Heroes of the Storm stuff, probably.
It seems like that game is just in a slow holding pattern at this point. I don't think they're doing much.
I mean, they're adding new heroes. People must still be playing it.
Events.
Yeah, people must be playing it, Yeah. They do like single player stuff in there sometimes too, like, versus AI.
Yeah. Hearthstone gets
another whatever.
Ugh.
WoW and WoW Classic both get patch announcements, or maybe it might be time for another expansion announcement for World of Warcraft. The original non-classic. That's probably going to be in the cards next year. Then the big question is is next year the D4 year, or is it 2 years away? I would like it to be next year.
Maybe they just take a slow walk back away from Diablo for a year.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably the response to this clues them in that at least some number of people are really not interested in hearing about Diablo unless it's Diablo 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm not willing to guarantee that it's going to be there.
Right.
I would like to see what they think Diablo 4 is.
Yeah. Diablo 3 expansion.
Hey, I guess we take what we can get.
There's unsolved mysteries.
Yeah. I mean, look, honestly, I think you and I both before the convention started, we were like, you know what the Diablo thing will be? They said it wasn't going to be Diablo 4. It's going to be Diablo 2 for phones.
We were half right.
A
Diablo 2 for phones might have been more popular.
I think that's possible, yeah.
If they said this is a faithful port of Diablo 2 for mobile.
Yeah. I think also a Diablo 2 remastered like Diablo 2
people would have gone nuts.
People would have gone nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they got next year.
Always next year. That's right.
That wraps up another BlizzCon 2018 this time.
Yeah.
It feels like these come around so quickly.
Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
We're getting old.